Ladies and gentlemen, listen up, listen to me carefully. Life will test you. People you love, people you trust, they'll leave. They'll walk out your door, turn their backs, and sometimes they won't even look back. That's not your failure. That's life's truth, and it's not easy to swallow. Denial creates a wall between you and your feelings, trapping you in cycles of anger, sadness, or numbness. But when you accept, you allow yourself to feel fully grief, sadness, anger, disappointment. You give yourself permission to be human. You don't have to rush to fix everything or move on too quickly. Instead, acceptance invites you to sit with your emotions, understand them, and gradually let them transform you. It's in this space of honest emotion that true healing begins. Moreover, acceptance is the foundation of resilience. When you accept that people will leave, you start to cultivate an inner strength that is not dependent on external factors. Your sense of self-worth, your confidence, and your emotional stability become rooted in who you are, not in who chooses to stay by your side. This inner resilience makes you less fragile in the face of loss and prepares you to handle life's inevitable changes with grace. It teaches you that while you cannot control other people's actions, you can control how you respond. This mindset is empowering because it shifts your focus from what you have lost to what you still possess, your values, your dreams, your spirit. Acceptance also encourages growth. When you stop clinging to the hope that people will never leave, you free up energy to invest in yourself. Solitude, once feared, becomes a space of possibility. You begin to explore who you are beyond your relationships, beyond the roles you play for others. This self-discovery is invaluable. You learn to appreciate your own company, develop new interests, and build skills that enhance your independence. Hey, together, the loneliness that once felt like a void transforms into a source of creativity, insight, and empowerment. In accepting that everyone leaves, you also become more compassionate and understanding towards others. You realize that leaving is often not a betrayal, but a part of their journey too. This understanding softens your heart, reduces bitterness, and helps you cultivate healthier relationships in the future. You learn to cherish the moments you have with people without clinging or fear. You begin to see relationships as dynamic and evolving rather than permanent fixtures, which allows you to engage more fully and authentically. It is important to recognize that acceptance is a process, not a one-time event. It takes time and often comes in waves. You might find yourself accepting today only to struggle again tomorrow. That's normal. Healing and growth are rarely linear, but each time you return to acceptance, you deepen your understanding and strengthen your ability to face life's uncertainties. You learn patience with yourself and with the process. Acceptance also requires humility. It asks you to surrender your desire for control and certainty. Life is unpredictable, and trying to hold on to people or situations tightly only creates more suffering. Acceptance teaches you to flow with life's currents rather than fight against them. It encourages trust, not necessarily in others, but in your own ability to navigate whatever comes your way. This trust is a quiet confidence, a steady knowing that no matter what happens, you have the inner resources to endure and thrive. Sometimes acceptance can feel lonely, especially when it means facing the truth that some people will never come back. It can challenge your hopes and dreams, forcing you to rewrite your story without them in it. But it also gives you a clean slate. It opens a new chapter filled with possibilities you might not have seen before. Without the weight of denial or false hope, you can move forward with clarity and purpose. In learning to accept that everyone leaves, you are not giving up on connection or love. You are simply recognizing that your value and happiness do not depend solely on others. You become the source of your own strength. You learn to stand tall on your own proud and whole. Acceptance is the first step toward freedom. Freedom from the fear of abandonment, freedom from the need for constant validation, freedom to be yourself fully and unconditionally. This freedom is transformative. It allows you to build a life that is not fragile, but robust, not dependent, but self-sufficient. You develop a mindset where you welcome change as a natural part of life. You see endings not just as losses, but as opportunities for new beginnings. You realize that when everyone leaves, it is not the end of your story. It is a call to write a new one, stronger and richer than before. In this journey, acceptance is your anchor. It grounds you in reality and prepares you for whatever life. This kind of trust is crucial when others are not there to support you. Purpose is also a powerful driver of inner strength. When you have a clear sense of why you do what you do, it anchors you through uncertainty and difficulty. Purpose fuels motivation and gives meaning to the sacrifices and efforts you make. It transforms suffering from something meaningless into a stepping stone towards something greater. Without purpose, it's easy to feel lost and overwhelmed. But with it, even the darkest moments carry a light, a reason to persevere. Discovering your purpose often requires introspection, patience, and sometimes trial and error, but it is worth every ounce of effort. Belief in yourself is the cornerstone of inner strength. This belief is not arrogance or blind confidence. It is a deep-seated trust in your own ability to handle life's challenges and to grow from them. It means acknowledging your flaws and imperfections without letting them define your worth. It means embracing your potential while staying humble and open to learning. When you believe in yourself, external setbacks don't shake your core because you know that you have what it takes to rebuild and continue forward. Building inner strength also involves surrounding yourself with influences that nurture your growth. This doesn't necessarily mean people. Sometimes it's the books you read, the habits you adopt, or the environment you create for yourself. Positive influences inspire and challenge you to become better. They remind you of what's possible and provide tools for growth. At the same time, building strength means learning to detach from toxic influences or relationships that drain your energy and confidence. Protecting your mental and emotional space is a vital part of strengthening your inner fortress. Practicing gratitude is another powerful way to build inner strength. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing or lost to what you have and what you gained. It cultivates a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. This perspective nurtures resilience because it helps you see the good even in hard times. When you practice gratitude regularly, you reinforce positive neural pathways in your brain that support hope, optimism, and perseverance. These qualities are essential for sustaining strength over time. Building inner strength also requires patience and kindness toward yourself. Growth is rarely linear, and setbacks are inevitable. There will be days when you feel weak, discouraged, or uncertain. These moments are not failures, but part of the process. Treat yourself with the same compassion you would offer a friend facing hardship. Recognize your efforts, celebrate small victories, and give yourself grace when things don't go as planned. This self-compassion is the soft power behind your inner strength. It replenishes your energy and keeps you moving forward. Learning to manage your thoughts is crucial for building strength. Your mind can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. Negative self-talk, doubt, and fear can erode your confidence and sap your energy. Developing the habit of monitoring and challenging unhelpful thoughts strengthens your mental resilience. Replace negativity with affirmations, realistic optimism, and solutions-focused thinking. This mental training doesn't mean ignoring problems, but facing them with a constructive and hopeful mindset. Over time, you build a mindset that supports endurance and empowerment. Physical health also plays a significant role in inner strength. Your body and mind are deeply connected, and neglecting your physical well-being can weaken your mental and emotional resilience. Regular exercise, proper nutrition, adequate rest, and mindfulness practices such as meditation or breathing exercises contribute to a balanced and strong inner self. When your body feels strong and energized, your mind is better equipped to handle stress and adversity. Taking care of your physical health is an act of respect and investment in your overall strength. Another dimension of inner strength is the ability to set and maintain boundaries. Boundaries protect your energy, time, and emotional health. They allow you to say no to what doesn't serve you and yes to what aligns with your values and goals. Setting boundaries can be difficult, especially if you fear disappointing others or facing conflict. But it is essential for building strength because it shows that you honor yourself enough to protect your well-being. Boundaries create a safe space where your strength can grow without unnecessary erosion. Facing fear head-on is perhaps one of the most powerful ways to build inner strength. Fear is a natural emotion, but when it controls your decisions or keeps you stuck, it becomes a barrier to growth. Courage doesn't mean the absence of fear, but acting despite. Each time you face a fear, Whether it's fear of failure, rejection, or loneliness, you expand your capacity to endure and thrive. Courage is a muscle that strengthens with use. The more you step into discomfort, the more confident and resilient you become. Building inner strength is also about cultivating hope and vision for the future. It means holding on to the belief that better days are ahead, even when the present is difficult. Hope motivates you to keep moving, to keep trying, and to keep believing in your potential. Vision gives you direction and purpose, helping you to navigate challenges with a sense of possibility. When you combine hope with practical action, you create momentum that propels you forward. Ultimately, building inner strength is an ongoing journey. It requires commitment, self-reflection, and the willingness to face your vulnerabilities. It means embracing discomfort as a teacher and challenges as opportunity. It means learning to stand alone with confidence, knowing that your strength is rooted in your ability to adapt, to love yourself, and to keep going no matter what. This strength becomes the foundation for every area of your relationships, your work, your dreams. It is the silent power that carries you through the darkest nights and into the brightest mornings. Embracing solitude as growth is a transformative approach to being alone that many people overlook or even fear. Solitude often carries a negative connotation, a feeling of loneliness, isolation, or abandonment. But when you shift your perspective and learn to embrace solitude intentionally, it becomes one of the most powerful tools for personal growth, self-discovery, and emotional healing. It is in these quiet moments alone, away from distractions and external influences, that you begin to connect deeply with yourself, uncover your true desires, and cultivate a sense of peace and strength that no one else can give you. When you embrace solitude, you create space for reflection. Life moves quickly, and in the noise of everyday routines, it's easy to lose touch with who you really are. Solitude gives you the opportunity to pause, to slow down, and to listen to your inner voice without interruption. This inner dialogue is crucial because it allows you to process your experiences, understand your emotions, and clarify your value. In the silence, you can ask yourself difficult questions. What do I truly want? What fears am I holding on to? What beliefs about myself no longer serve me? These questions, though challenging, lead to greater self-awareness and deeper understanding. Growth through solitude also means learning to be comfortable with your own company. This is a profound shift because so many people are conditioned to seek constant connection and validation from others. When you can enjoy being alone, you develop independence that isn't reliant on anyone else. You discover that you can entertain yourself, find joy in simple moments, and be at peace without external stimulation. When you face challenges or self-doubt, this inner voice provides reassurance, practical advice, and emotional comfort, much like a trusted friend would. Over time, this internal dialogue strengthens, reducing the power of fear and anxiety and increasing your sense of security. One foundational element of this internal support system is self-compassion. Learning to treat yourself with the same kindness and patience that you would offer to others during difficult times is crucial. Instead of berating yourself for mistakes or perceived shortcomings, self-compassion encourages gentle acknowledgement of imperfections and setbacks. It allows you to embrace your humanity and recognize that struggle is a natural part of growth. When you cultivate self-compassion, you create a nurturing environment within yourself that promotes healing, motivation, and resilience. This internal kindness becomes a cushion that softens the blows of life's hardships. Building emotional awareness is another key component. To support yourself internally, you need to be attuned to your emotions, recognizing their origins and allowing yourself to experience them fully without judgment. And many people suppress or ignore their feelings because they seem uncomfortable or overwhelming. However, creating space for your emotions and acknowledging them honestly strengthens your emotional intelligence. This emotional awareness enables you to respond to life's difficulties with calmness and clarity, rather than reacting impulsively or shutting down. The better you understand your emotional landscape, the more effective your internal support system becomes. Self-reflection is a powerful practice that deepens your connection to yourself and enhances your internal support. Taking time regularly to pause, reflect on your experiences, and consider your thoughts and feelings builds insight and wisdom. Reflection allows you to identify patterns, recognize progress, and clarify your values and goals. This clarity provides guidance and motivation, helping you make decisions aligned with your authentic self. Reflection also fosters forgiveness and acceptance, reducing the weight of past regrets or mistakes. Through this process, you cultivate a nurturing inner space that supports growth and transformation. Another vital aspect of creating a support system within is developing a strong sense of self-trust. Trust in yourself means believing in your capacity to make wise decisions, handle challenges, and learn from failures. It is about knowing that even when things go wrong, you have the resilience and resourcefulness to adapt and keep moving forward. Each time you listen to your intuition, follow through on your commitments, or overcome adversity, you reinforce this trust. Self-trust anchors your confidence and reduces the need for constant external reassurance, making you more self-reliant and empowered. Setting healthy boundaries with yourself and others also contributes to your internal support system. Boundaries protect your mental and emotional well-being by defining what is acceptable and what is not. They help you conserve energy, avoid burnout, and maintain clarity about your needs and limits. Frata. Establishing boundaries requires self-awareness and assertiveness, both of which are cultivated through inner work. When you respect your own boundaries, you send a message to yourself that your needs matter, reinforcing self-worth and respect. Boundaries within your internal support system mean not allowing negative self-talk or toxic thoughts to take hold. While externally, they involve limiting interactions that drain your energy or undermine your confidence. Practicing positive self-affirmations is an effective tool in nurturing your internal support system. Affirmations are intentional statements that reinforce your value, strength, and potential. When repeated consistently, they reshape negative thought patterns and build a mindset of empowerment and hope. Affirmations like "I am capable, I get them enough," and "I can handle whatever comes my way" remind you of your inner strength and worth. This practice creates a positive feedback loop within your mind, increasing motivation and reducing self-doubt. Over time, affirmations become an integral part of your inner dialogue, reinforcing the supportive environment you are cultivating. Mindfulness and meditation practices greatly enhance your ability to create and maintain an internal support system. These practices teach you to observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment and to remain present even during challenging moments. Mindfulness cultivates a sense of calm and balance, helping you avoid being swept away by stress or negative emotions. Meditation strengthens focus and clarity, enabling you to tap into your inner wisdom and peace. By incorporating these practices into your routine, you build a stable mental foundation that supports resilience and emotional regulation. Developing a personal sense of purpose is another cornerstone of your internal support system. When you have clear values and goals that resonate deeply with you, they act as a compass during difficult times. Purpose gives you motivation and direction, reminding you why it's worth persevering. It connects you to something larger than immediate circumstances, providing meaning that transcends temporary hardships. Cultivating purpose involves exploring your passions, strengths, and contributions. When aligned with your actions, purpose becomes a powerful source of internal encouragement and fulfillment. Self-care routines are a tangible way of nurturing your internal support system. Taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental health sends a message to yourself that you are worthy of attention and love. Whether it's exercise, healthy eating, restful sleep, hobbies, or relaxation, these practices replenish your enhanced well-being. Consistent self-care builds resilience by preparing you to face challenges with a stronger mind and body. It also reduces the risk of burnout and emotional depletion, making your internal support system more sustainable over time. Learning from setbacks and failures is an essential element in creating a robust internal support system. Instead of viewing mistakes as proof of inadequacy, reframing them as opportunities for learning and growth empowers you. This perspective encourages resilience and fosters a growth mindset. Each failure becomes a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. When you embrace this attitude internally, you develop greater confidence and adaptability. Your internal support system then serves not only to comfort, but to challenge and inspire you toward continuous improvement. Cultivating gratitude within yourself enhances your internal support system by shifting focus from what is lacking to what is present and positive in your life. Gratitude nurtures a mindset of abundance and optimism, which strengthens emotional resilience. When you regularly acknowledge the good things in your life, your strengths, achievements, relationships, or simple joys, you build mental habits that support well-being and happiness. This positive outlook buffers against despair and self-pity, reinforcing your internal capacity to sustain hope and motivation. Forgiveness, both of yourself and others, is a critical practice for internal support. Holding on to grudges or self-blame drains emotional energy and weakens your inner foundation. Forgiveness releases you from the burden of resentment and regret, freeing space for healing and growth. It requires courage and compassion, and practicing it inwardly restores peace and emotional balance. By forgiving yourself, you acknowledge your human imperfections and embrace the possibility of growth. By forgiving others, you let go of negativity that can cloud your judgment and drain your spirit. Visualization is another powerful technique to strengthen your internal support system. Imagining yourself succeeding, handling challenges with grace, or feeling calm and confident creates mental rehearsal that boosts your actual performance and resilience. Visualization programs your brain to expect positive outcomes and reinforces your belief in your capabilities. When used regularly, it builds mental toughness and optimism, making you better equipped to navigate uncertainty and stress. Connecting with your inner values and principles anchors your internal support system in authenticity and integrity. When your actions align with your deepest beliefs, you experience congruence and self-respect. This alignment strengthens your confidence and reduces internal conflict. Knowing what matters most to you provides a reliable foundation to make decisions and face adversity. It allows your internal support system to function not just as a comfort, but as a compass that guides you toward a fulfilling and meaningful life. Creating a support system within also means celebrating your progress and victories, no matter how small. Acknowledging your growth reinforces positive self-perception and motivation. When you take time to honor your efforts and achievements, you build momentum and joy. This celebration becomes a source of encouragement during tougher times, reminding you of your resilience and potential. Finally, cultivating patience with yourself is essential in this process. Building an internal support system is not instantaneous. It requires ongoing effort, self-reflection, and grace. You will have moments of doubt or struggle, but these are natural parts of the journey. Patience allows you to maintain faith in yourself even when progress seems slow. It helps you embrace the process with kindness, knowing that each step, no matter how small, contributes to a stronger, more supportive inner foundation. Loneliness is often viewed as a painful and unwanted state, something to be avoided or quickly fixed. Yet, when we shift our perspective, loneliness can be transformed from a source of suffering into a profound wellspring of personal power. The experience of being alone, when understood and embraced, offers unique opportunities for self-discovery, growth, and empowerment that are unavailable in the constant noise and distractions of social life. Transforming loneliness into power requires us to face the discomfort, honestly rethink what solitude means, and harness the energy that arises from within when external support is absent. Loneliness signals a disconnection, not just from others, but often from ourselves. When people feel lonely, they may perceive themselves as unworthy, invisible, or unloved. This mindset can be debilitating. It is not an unchangeable truth. The first step in transforming loneliness into power is to recognize that the feeling itself is a message, not a definition. Loneliness invites us to turn inward and examine our relationship with ourselves. It asks us to cultivate self-awareness and compassion, ways that strengthen our inner foundation. By acknowledging loneliness without judgment, we create a space where transformation becomes possible. Loneliness also strips away distractions and external noise, leaving us face to face with our own thoughts and emotions. This unfiltered encounter can be unsettling, but it's also deeply illuminating. It reveals patterns of thinking and feeling that may have gone unnoticed or unexamined. In this space, we begin to understand the roots of our loneliness, whether they stem from unmet needs, past wounds, or unrealistic expectations about connection. Understanding these origins is crucial because it allows us to address loneliness constructively rather than reacting to it with fear or avoidance. The power of loneliness lies in its ability to foster independence and self-reliance. When you are alone and not distracted by constant social validation, you are forced to become your own source of comfort and encouragement. This shift transforms loneliness from a state of helplessness into an opportunity for empowerment. You develop emotional resilience by learning to soothe yourself during moments of vulnerability. You discover that your happiness and sense of worth are not contingent on others' presence or approval. This realization is revolutionary because it frees you from the chains of dependence and creates a foundation for authentic confidence. Loneliness also provides fertile ground for creativity and introspection. Without external interruptions, the mind is free to wander, imagine, and invent. Many great thinkers, artists, and writers have credited periods of solitude with breakthroughs that changed their lives. When you embrace loneliness as a chance to explore your inner world, you tap into a wellspring of ideas and insights that can fuel personal growth and fulfillment. This creative power emerges naturally when you allow yourself the time and space to reflect deeply, dream boldly, and connect with your intuition. Moreover, loneliness sharpens your ability to cultivate meaningful relationships. Paradoxically, the experience of being alone can deepen your empathy and appreciation for genuine connection. When you learn to enjoy and respect your own company, you raise your standards for the relationships you pursue. You become less likely to settle for superficial interactions or unhealthy attachments driven by fear of being alone. Instead, you seek connections rooted in mutual respect, authenticity, and shared growth. This shift enriches your social life and reduces feelings of loneliness over time. Another key to transforming loneliness into power is developing mindfulness and presence. When lonely, it is easy to become trapped in negative thought loops, dwelling on what is missing or what has been lost. Mindfulness teaches you to observe these thoughts and emotions without getting entangled in them. By anchoring yourself in the present moment, you reduce the grip of loneliness and create a mental space where peace and acceptance can arise. This practice strengthens emotional regulation, making it easier to navigate the ups and downs of solitude with grace and calm. Loneliness can also be a catalyst for spiritual growth. Many spiritual traditions recognize solitude as a path to deeper understanding and connection with a greater reality. Cool. When alone, you have the opportunity to explore questions of meaning, purpose, and belonging beyond the material world. This exploration can bring comfort and perspective, helping you transcend the immediate pain of loneliness. Spiritual practices such as meditation, prayer, or contemplation can transform loneliness into a sacred space for healing and insight, opening you to a sense of interconnectedness that nourishes your soul. Building routines and rituals around solitude strengthens your ability to turn loneliness into power. When you create intentional habits, whether journaling, exercising, practicing gratitude, or engaging in creative pursuits, you anchor yourself in positive activities that foster well-being and growth. These routines give structure to your time alone and remind you that solitude is not empty, but full of potential. Rituals become acts of self-love and empowerment, reinforcing the message that you are worthy of care and attention, especially from yourself. Transforming loneliness into power also involves challenging cultural stigmas and personal beliefs that equate being alone with failure or inadequacy. Society often glorifies constant social engagement, and this pressure can make loneliness feel shameful. By questioning and rejecting these norms, you reclaim your right to solitude and redefine what it means to thrive. Recognizing that being alone is a natural and valuable part of the human experience allows you to embrace loneliness without fear or guilt. This reframing changes your internal narrative and empowers you to find strength within. Learning to express your emotions and needs authentically is another vital aspect. Loneliness can sometimes create a barrier to communication as people withdraw out of fear or hurt. However, expressing your feelings honestly and vulnerably can transform loneliness into connection, even if that connection starts with yourself. Writing letters to yourself, speaking out loud, or confiding in trusted confidant are ways to break the silence and build bridges. This expression releases emotional tension and fosters healing, making solitude a time of renewal rather than isolation. Developing physical self-care practices also supports this transformation. When lonely, it's easy to neglect your body and health, which can deepen negative feelings. Engaging in exercise, nutritious eating, rest, and relaxation sends a powerful message of self-respect and vitality. Taking care of your body grounds you in the present and reminds you of your inherent worth. Physical well-being and mental strength are deeply interconnected, and nurturing both enhances your ability to wield loneliness as a source of power. Another important factor is setting goals and challenges that focus your energy outward even while alone. Loneliness can lead to stagnation if you become passive or withdrawn. Instead, channel your feelings into purposeful action, learning new skills, pursuing creative projects, or working toward personal ambitions. These goals provide direction and meaning, transforming solitude from a passive state into an active process of self-improvement. Achieving progress reinforces your confidence and demonstrates your capability to thrive independently. Forgiveness plays a transformative role as well. Loneliness can sometimes be rooted in past hurts or feelings of abandonment. Holding on to resentment or regret prolongs suffering and weakens your inner strength. Practicing forgiveness both toward others and yourself releases these burdens and clears the way for growth. Forgiveness is an act of empowerment because it shifts control back to you, freeing your mind and heart from past pain. This liberation enables you to embrace solitude with openness and optimism. Learning to celebrate small victories and moments of joy during lonely times further builds power. Recognizing and appreciating your resilience, creativity, or simple pleasures reinforces a positive mindset. This gratitude acts as a shield against despair and encourages continued growth. When you focus on these wins, no matter how modest, you create momentum that propels you forward, transforming loneliness into a dynamic force for self-empowerment. Cultivating a sense of humor and playfulness can also lighten the weight of loneliness. Humor helps you gain perspective and cope with discomfort by reducing stress and fostering connection, even if that connection begins internally. Playfulness encourages curiosity and spontaneity, traits that enliven solitude and open you to new possibilities. These qualities remind you that loneliness, like all states, is temporary and can be navigated with grace and creativity. Finally, building a vision of the future rooted in hope and possibility is essential. Loneliness can feel like an endless void, but envisioning a fulfilling life filled with meaningful relationships, achievements, and joy transforms that void into a canvas of potential. This hopeful outlook energizes you to take action, persevere, and grow. By holding on to this vision, you harness loneliness as a powerful catalyst for transformation and renewal. That when we learn to transform loneliness into power, we reclaim control over our lives and redefine what it means to be truly strong. Loneliness, once seen as a source of pain and weakness, becomes a catalyst for self-discovery, growth, and empowerment. By embracing solitude with compassion, self-awareness, and intention, we build an inner foundation that supports resilience, creativity, and authentic connection. This transformation allows us to stand confidently on our own, not out of necessity, but from a place of deep strength and freedom. In doing so, we unlock the remarkable potential that lies within us all, proving that even in moments of solitude, we can thrive and shine brighter than ever before.